Save 50 to 75% on all Christie statues. Now at Siegel Book.
I am a busy mom, but I still believe in the importance of having family dinner. So if you're wondering if you can be a busy mom and incorporate family dinner, then today's episode might be for you.
You might even find some tricks on how to meal plan, how to make this an easy transition if it's not something that you're currently doing, but more than anything, how to build memories and traditions within your home that will have a long-lasting effect. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Go and Be. Today we are so excited to welcome some of my heroes, the food nannies themselves, Liz and Lizzie, and I'm really excited about what we're talking about.
Yes, today's conversation is all about diving into the nuances of food and meals in your home and how to balance spending the time that you need to with your family around the table while you have a number of other activities going on your schedule and you're running from thing to thing. And our guests are the perfect people to have this conversation with.
That's so nice.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So I have been following Liz since I was a new mom and I'm about to send my oldest away to college. And the way she talks about family dinners has really shaped my home. And the thing I love about Lizzie and what she's doing with the Food Nanny's mission now is taking that concept and that mission into our day today. For moms who have baseball practice and we have our kids at drama lessons. So how do we take mealtime and put it into today? So what do you guys think? Are you excited to be here?
We are so excited. This is so nice.
For you.
Yeah, this
Both
is so
of
much
you.
fun. You guys are darling.
And their
so
new
fun
show.
To be here.
Yes.
Yeah, can't wait to watch it all.
Yes, so excited to be here supporting it. And thank you for inviting us.
Yes.
You are welcome.
And I have known you since the day you drove you actually drove out to our home to buy some of our products.
I'm like this close to being a stalker. So I
No,
did.
there's no, you couldn't be.
Yes, it was so fun to meet you and your little boy. What was his name?
Christian.
And I've never forgotten you, and we're so happy to meet you as
Yes,
well.
it's so fun.
Liz, where did this start? This whole idea of the importance of family dinner. And how have you made this into a lifestyle that has lasted for generations?
Yes,
Yeah.
for me it started the day I got married. I just wanted to carry on my mom and my grandmother's legacy. And being married to a pilot, he was in the Air Force at the time, he was gone all the time. And there were so many people surrounding me living on the Air Force base who weren't cooking, and they were like, why do you even need to cook? Your husband's gone. You know, they were gone 2 weeks out of the month then. The men were. And so I just said, you know what? I need to carry on this tradition. I want to have something nutritional to eat at the end of the day. And I want together, whoever I have. At that time, I had one son. He was just 6 months old. But then soon Katie came along, and then Brent.
Many more
the
children.
As the kids came along, I would set them around, in their high chair and then to their chair, and we would have a consistent family dinner time. And I think it was the key to keeping us close and nutritionally fed. And also, one of the greatest gifts that you can teach your children is teaching them how to eat and eating a variety of food. So it was that, and it was also, where do you teach your children the art of conversation? It happens at the dinner table.
Right. And we're losing it.
Yes.
We are
Major.
The conversation is just as important as the food.
Yeah.
And so I knew that at the end of the day, it was the glue that kept us together. It was the most important part of the day. And it was my rock. It's what kept me going. And raising all those kids with my husband gone 60% of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it just kept us really close. Like, I'm the baby of 7, and the oldest is 16 years in age difference. And I know for a fact, I talked about this in my new book too. I wrote about it. I was just like, I know for a fact we wouldn't be as close. It makes me emotional, but if we wouldn't have sat together at least at dinner time, it was our only time of the day where we all bonded. We all got to talk about the day. I got to learn all the drama of all the siblings and the boyfriends and the girlfriends. And I loved dinner time because that's where I was going. I was hearing all about it. And I know if we wouldn't have had it, I wouldn't be as close as I am to all my siblings because we are close. We are very close. And so that is definitely what made us so strong. I believe that with all my heart.
Dinner time is where you share your values.
Yeah.
This is where you teach your children good, strong American values, and it's so important to hear from them as well as them be able to hear from you.
Yeah.
It's just a safe place, and you're looking at your kids in the eyes, and you're going through, like my mom would go around the table and each kid got to give, like, how was your day? And it was like, oh, it was my little spotlight. Like, oh, Mom, I did this today. And so it just made you feel important, and it made it feel like you could talk about anything. And that's where we did. We talked about everything. Everything in our day.
And it didn't mean that every day was perfect.
No.
Some days I had a horrible day, and maybe I've got tears in my eyes. And
There's crying, laughing, fighting, everything. Everybody thinks that this is just the most beautiful relationship, which it is. I love her so much.
But we're
not
real.
perfect. We're real.
Yeah.
We're
Anyway,
real.
sorry, you were trying to say something.
No, I think it's so great. I didn't want to cut you off because it's so
you're
great.
fine.
And I think there's probably many women who crave this, right? They look around and think, I want my kids to be closer together. I want them to have conversations with me. And so you strip down all of those things and you say, okay, but let's talk about how we really make that happen. Because I know there's got to be, it's not just accidental.
No.
And I'm one of those people who sometimes at 5:30, I'm like, ooh, holy cow.
It's too
late.
late.
Yeah.
It's
Way
too
too
late.
late.
Cold cereal
Yes,
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or I can give you some veggies
Yeah.
and a piece of
Yes.
ham and call it a mixed
Yeah.
meal. But how do we be intentional about this throughout the day so that we can prepare for these
Yeah.
kinds
Well,
of
I want to say,
experiences?
like she did, so she gave us this whole meal plan, which we'll talk about. A key is the meal plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
But really, for now today, it's like the whole reason I even started it back up was because I noticed that my mom's message, it just never dies. Everything that she has taught and lived by is what is going to last you forever. We call it a lifestyle. And it really is. When you just start to live this way, it becomes natural, and it's amazing. It saves you. It's what keeps you going, honestly. And when I moved away for the first time, this is when I noticed today more than ever that this isn't what's going on in these homes.
being lost.
It's completely lost. I thought everybody had a mom like this, and I thought everybody had dinner time, meal planning. I thought everybody made bread like we do. I just thought it was second nature. I'm like, what do you mean? And so it was, sorry, Mom, are you trying to say something?
No.
We
it's
can talky
perfect.
talk forever. But anyways, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I moved away from home, and then like I said, that's what I realized. I was away from family. I was away from my friends. I was away from my comfort zone, and I met all these new neighbors, all these different women in my ward and community, and they were like, how are you doing this? How are you doing this? And I just couldn't believe that they weren't taught the way that I was taught. And so it was one time my mom came out to visit, and we were just talking about basically her legacy to me, because she has 2 cookbooks that have like changed so many people's lives.
Changed my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not just mine. And
Yeah.
and it tells you how to meal plan, and it's different theme nights so that you're getting this beautiful variety of food. It's been the whole, like we said, lifestyle not that long ago. And she came to visit me, and I said, Mom, because she had already had a show on BYU. She had her cookbooks. She'd been running with it for how many years? 10 years?
Or more.
10 years or more. But then it was kind of like she took a break. She went on a mission, and it was kind of like, okay, the Food Nanny's done. Like that was a good run. We're tired. We're done. And I said, I'm going to do this. And she literally looked at me like, what do you mean you're going to do? And I'm like, I'm going to bring this back. And I'm like, we need it more than ever today. Yeah. We need it more than ever. I'm like, all of these women are looking for help. They don't know where to go. And just like you said, how do we really do it?
Yes.
People think it's just eat family dinner time. You can do it, but you have to get prepared.
It's intentional.
It's intentional, and you have to plan way before 5:30.
Yes,
It's meal planning.
absolutely.
It's planning out your day. And really, when you have such crazy busy days with all your kids' schedules, you've got to plan ahead. It's like, what are you doing in the morning? Do you need to prepare it? Do you need to leave it out for the oldest child?
Do you need to start
help
the night
prepare?
before?
Do you need to start it the night before? Do you need to have some of those freezer meals on the days that you cannot work it out? But really, we cook 5 nights a week. And we take 2 days off. We love to eat out. We're human. I love to eat out. I love to go to all the amazing restaurants. But really, my mom always said, try to plan for 7 because you never know what's going to happen.
Right. You never know if someone's sick or you can't afford to go or the weather's bad. So plan for 7. But we recommend cooking 5 nights a week, taking 2 days off.
Yeah.
But if you just did 3, statistics will tell you that
Huge difference in your family.
everything from better grades to a better communication with parents.
Kids are less likely to get into drugs and alcohol. Like, they've done this in major big universities.
Yes.
It's all over the internet.
Yes.
And I love how you point out those studies.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
so great. So, Lizzie, I watched you take this little tiny Instagram account from, I think, like 139 followers is when I
It was nothing.
started following you. It was nothing. To now
nothing.
thousands of women
That's
are
nice.
benefiting, and thousands of men. My husband is the food nanny at our house sometimes, half and half.
Which is
And
great.
that's what we say.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great.
So thousands and thousands of families are following you and are benefiting from this message. So tell us, what is this meal plan and how do we put it into our own homes?
Okay, so when I wrote my first 2 books, it wasn't just recipes, it was a how-to. So I just didn't say, we need to be having dinner with our families. I showed you how to make it happen.
Make
how
it as
to
simple as you
implement it.
can, yeah.
Yes, and so what I did was almost, 42 years ago, 43 something years ago now, I came up with something that I called theme nights. And Monday became comfort food night, Tuesday Italian, Wednesday fish meatless or breakfast, Thursday Mexican, Friday pizza night, Saturday girl night, and Sunday tradition, with all of our sides, salads, breads, everything, to back it up.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason I was able to continue to do it, because the hardest part of the day, the hardest part about dinner is trying to figure out what to cook.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Amen.
And you get in a rut. Like, you're craving pasta. You're like, okay, well, I'll just make Alfredo, and then I'll make spaghetti, and then I'll do this. And it's like, no, then you're burnt out on the same thing. But it really is the theme nights, even if we are not home and making dinner, we cannot go off that night. It's crazy. Like,
you'll go out to dinner.
So
tonight is
right.
Mexican night.
Okay.
If I was not home making the enchiladas, which I've got all the stuff to go home and make, we have a crazy day. We're out here, out and about, but I've got everything at home. I'm ready to go home, make it. Dinner is planned.
It's in the house. You don't have to stop
I'm
and
not
get
going to
it.
be thinking about anything. But I would be out, maybe at Cafe Rio, or I don't know, wherever I feel like. But it's Mexican, and we stick to it.
Yeah.
And it's funny. My husband was not raised this way, and the minute that he came into the marriage, and I'm like, no, it's theme nights around here, buddy, and we have this, and we have this, and we have this, and he's like, okay. And if I go off a night, he is so mad, because you start to then crave that.
Yeah.
Your body craves it. And that's the other beauty, is it's like, diets don't work long term. We don't believe in that. And that's why when you're giving yourself this variety of food,
It's
and
so
you're
healthy.
eating all of it within this portion control, which that just means eating until you're satisfied.
Right.
And that's become part of more my message, even more, that I added on. I wanted it to be like, what did you say, Mom? Like, what was your message? But I wanted it to be my voice too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I didn't want it just to be like, hi, I'm her little daughter, and I'm just
Right.
trying to. No, I wanted to have my voice. And
I love what Lizzie was
Yeah.
was taking from it, and her main message is basically you can cook this variety of food and not gain weight. You can eat everything that you love and crave in portion control and variety, as long as you're getting plenty of vegetables, fruits, all the things that we love and crave, the fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, everything. But it's, say for instance, it's Tuesday night and we're having Italian food. We can have anything from pasta with chicken, with beef, with none, just plain, without any meat in it. We can have something more with more calories, such as Alfredo. But then the next night, as we make this 2-week meal plan, and it's 2 weeks, by the way.
Just going to ask.
Oh, yeah.
And it's free. It's free. It's on their
free, right.
They do this for you.
Yes.
You don't have to do it. You just go and you print it out.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
2 weeks, we give you a new meal plan.
Because 1 week is not enough. It's way too short.
A month is
and a month
too
is
long.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks, you might have to
It's
go back
perfect.
for, milk, eggs, a couple of like fresh produce, but you're ready. You are ready, and you save a lot of money doing
You
that.
say,
too.
the money.
A lot of money.
If you're spending $800 on food a month, you'll now spend $400.
Yeah.
But
You
what
don't realize those quick little grocery store
you just
tips.
add.
I'm
adds up
crazy. You
so much.
spend $80 on
Yeah.
nothing. You're
It's
like,
an
what
$80
just happened
commitment.
here?
Absolutely.
And don't go hungry because you'll buy everything on the
Right.
cookie aisle.
But we believe in eating 3 meals too. But what I was going to say was, if you've got fettuccine Alfredo, the next night when you're doing your plan, you're going to eat lighter
Right.
the next night.
Right.
So this is not
heavy,
big
heavy.
meal after big meal after big meal.
Yeah.
As you make your meal plan, you're planning it. We don't eat red meat back to back because why? Because it gets stopped up. We want it to move through us. We don't believe in. I mean, once in a while, yes, we can eat red meat back to back, but this is part of our lifestyle. We like to choose 1 or 2 nights a week with no meat at all, just meatless. Because it's so healthy for you.
Yeah, it's good.
We like to include our bread, which is our ancient grain, which is made with kamut, an ancient grain flour that is so incredibly healthy for you. We have our salt that we bring in from France. But it's this meal plan that you can do it in 10 minutes. But the thing is, we do it for you. So if you don't like all the meals that we've chosen, just put in
what you want.
What you want, or so many people say, well, I can't cook that many nights a week. If you can cook at least 3, then you're going to make a difference in your family's life.
Well, and I like that from that standpoint, like you say 5 and I go, oh, that's a lot. But if I can start where I am and say, okay, well, we're probably eating out 3 nights a week, I could do 4, right? With a little bit of planning or a little bit of understanding. But the real question is what if I don't like to cook? Hypothetically speaking, of course. What if I'm not a huge fan of standing in the kitchen all day, or that I feel like I mess up even the simplest recipes? Like,
You can't with ours.
You cannot mess up their recipes.
That is the beauty. Yeah, you
cannot.
cannot. Honestly, my mom, I have my own 4 kids. I've been married going on 13 years. I was raised on this food. I'm still not sick of it. And that is the truth. I will try new recipes. I'll spend $50 on one recipe, getting, fancy ingredients, don't know what it is, don't have it in my house. Disgusting. And I'm mad. I am so mad if I don't have a good meal. But this is easy, family friendly, but so delicious that you'll keep making for the rest of your life. Really.
They're fast.
Fast.
Because I'm like Michelle, I love to eat.
Yes.
I don't
Not the problem.
love to cook. It's not something that I love. But this has made it just so easy for me.
No, it's easy. You can do
It's
it.
so easy.
And the other thing is, like I try to tell people, bring your family members in. Okay, if your children are not old enough, and you're married and your spouse can help, bring him in to help, or her, whatever, bring him in to help. Then when your children are at least 10 or 11 or older, you can assign them. So all the food is in the house, okay. And the other thing is you can assign them, but also as you're making the meal plan, I always ask the kids, what are you guys hungry for? And Emily never did not request homemade mac and cheese. Brent always requested chicken tacos. Everybody had their favorites, but then get them involved and get them involved in cooking if you hate to cook.
Yeah, that's one thing I did in the beginning of 2020 when everything came home and I was now actually cooking 3 meals a day and we were sitting around the table. I thought, I'm spending all day in the kitchen. Now I'm going to assign different people to stand in here with me and help me and do things.
Perfect.
And then we have some of those good conversations and they feel more involved in the process. And so at the end of the day, they're not saying, I didn't want this.
Yeah. And it's making amazing memories.
It's
like,
It's making such a difference.
Yeah.
There's a study out about divorced. When you're divorced, the most important thing you can do for your family is to get together in the evening for dinner. And I have so many single dads living my meal plan. They said thank you because and moms, but many dads who didn't have a clue about the first thing about putting a meal together or cooking, and they say, I can do this. And I love the theme nights. Many moms as well. But I was attending a big conference. It was actually at BYU one year, and a professor stood up and said, what is the most important thing you can do if you're divorced for your family? And nobody got the answer, and I raised my hand. I said, I believe it's dinner time. And he said, how did you know that? And of course, that's been my legacy forever. But
of course, I know. I know the answer.
And we're so glad that you do.
Yeah. But honestly, more than just all of that, because when I started the Instagram, I noticed slowly women were finally coming out and, speaking their truth. It more than anything, it's not that they don't want to make dinner. They're afraid of gaining weight.
Yeah.
They're afraid of eating all of this kind of food. They don't believe that we have fettuccine and then we're eating, this that night, and then we're making the homemade bread and we're making the cookies. Yeah, you better believe I am. You better believe I'm eating all of that.
People who know us know.
They know.
Yeah.
And so that is life. That is eating, enjoying family, good conversation, all those things. That's life for me.
I love that message. And the message that you share often on your Instagram for people who follow your stories is about loving your body.
Yeah.
The body that you're in. And that your body doesn't have to be different to be worthy of being fed nutritious and beautiful food.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to us a little bit about your new book. I am so excited for your new book.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
It's so great.
I never thought it would happen to me too.
She holds it like a proud baby.
I know. Well,
and it's so
it kind of
beautiful.
is.
I know. Well, before we actually started the Instagram, we started using kamut. Kamut is an ancient grain. It's never been genetically modified. And we discovered it in Italy. And it's a beautiful, long story. We don't have time to tell you the whole story. But basically, we came back to America. And can you believe that kamut is grown in Montana? Right here. And they have been shipping this flour to Italy for over 30 years. And so, of course, we're behind. We don't understand. But we first fell in love with it for taste. But it's known for taste, texture, digestibility. It has less gluten than any white flour in the world. But that's not even why we loved it. It was seriously taste number one. And constantly we would make the bread, cookies. I was a bakery out of my house. I mean, I was making cakes and cookies. I made dinner for families a few times a week.
You were earning money doing that.
I was doing all these crazy things, and they said, something is different. What is going on? Because they're like, we tried to make that same bread and all these things, and we finally were like, okay, it's the flour and it's the salt that we import from France. And anyways, we partnered up with the guy, and we just got back from showing the whole field up in Montana. And there is something about this wheat that it hit my mom hard really first, and then it hit me. And we constantly get stories from all of our different amazing followers that are like, are we crazy? Like, we feel something to this.
Different.
And that is a true story. And it's because it's so ancient, and it takes us back to our past.
It's pure strain.
It's never
organic.
It's the only wheat that has never been messed with. And that's beautiful.
Wasn't it found in tombs?
Yes, it was found in an Egyptian tomb.
Yeah.
And the guy shipped it to his dad that was a farmer up in Montana. And he said, grow it, see what you get.
It's amazing.
And this is what we have. So it cooks different. You have to use a little less than normal all-purpose. So we're like, we have to write a book.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of it. This is all written
so
for
beautiful.
Kamut. This is my tribute to my beautiful mom, the first part. It will make you cry because she's everything to me. She's everything to me. And it's been amazing to take on the torch, I feel like, and try to just help everybody
She's
out.
the boss now.
I am
tell
the
her
boss.
she's the boss now.
I am the boss. Sometimes it's a little too old school. I'm like, we got to get up.
Because
I'm just kidding.
because I'm trying to slow down, and I'm
So
still.
she still will get on, and she
I don't
totally
think she'll ever
supports.
slow down.
I know, she's crazy. We're crazy. We have a lot of energy.
We're a
but
good team,
yeah.
and it's fun.
Yeah.
Tell me how this has affected your spirits, and what do you feel? Do you feel this is a spiritual mission to share this message?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I was driven to start this, and I couldn't figure out why, but I just was. And when I sat down to write my first book, it took me 4 years. The publisher found me, which was amazing. I just thought, I'll finish this and I'll send some queries out. And lo and behold, I met this woman out of nowhere. And she said, she called me after I had met her. She called me and she said, have you found a publisher? And I said, no, I haven't done one thing. And of course, I knew no one. I was just living up in my farmhouse and was driven to do this because I felt so strongly that my meal plan could bless other people. It could help them get dinner on the table. And I just saw how the family was becoming less and less together and less important. Friends were becoming more important than family. I was seeing and feeling. And she called me and she said, Liz, she said, I want to publish your book. And so that was an incredible, she took a chance on me. That was an incredible endorsement from her, Patty Palmer, my dear friend for life. She lives in Portland, Oregon. And I thank her and love her to death. And so then it started there. My next book, it took me 3 years to write. And then I went and served a mission for our church in Germany and then came home. And then this happened. And I was like laying low thinking, I think we're over. I had a wonderful run with BYU television for 4 years, and it was great. And sometimes they still show the reruns. We went all over the world promoting dinner time, and it was so wonderful to be in Italy and London. And my goodness, we were everywhere.
It was amazing.
Promoting dinner time all over the U.S., and it was fabulous. So now Lizzie's kind of taken the torch, which I'm so happy about, but I'm still in and out, and I'm building a cottage next door. She's taking over the farmhouse, and I'm building a cottage next door. So that's exciting, and she's done some really great things. She's bringing the little farmhouse back to life with our cow, Fanny, now.
Yes.
And she's got chickens, and it's great to see the house filled up again with people, and that's wonderful. And then I'll be next door too.
So I love this, and I love that you came and shared with us your spirit. I love the message of getting around the table with your families for dinner. I love what Lizi has turned this legacy into and what it continues to evolve. And who knows, your daughter may take it and go from here.
You never know.
Yeah, if you guys could share one piece of advice to our beautiful viewers and listeners about how to go and be in the world, what would that piece of advice be?
Go first.
Well, what I was instantly thinking is that there's enough room in this world for all of us. There's enough room for anyone who wants to join and who has a passion. Just be happy for everyone. Support everyone. And don't be discouraged by anyone either. But there's enough room for all of us.
Yeah.
And all of us can share in everything, and we can have it all if we share.
Yes, women lifting women.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with that more. We talk about that all the time. But basically, I just think be yourself and go with what you really believe. It's like, it's not always the easier route. This has actually been really hard. I mean, it's been challenging. There's been times where, I don't know, just be honest, you've wanted to quit. Like, because you've got everything against you, you feel like sometimes. I've lost friends over it, or, just weird things that happen. But I know that I'm trying to do something that's positive, and I'm not trying to just make it about myself or anything like that.
This is not about us.
this is not about me, and I could definitely have a lot of free time if I wasn't doing this. But I really feel like it's something that's needed and needed to be out there. So just do you, and no matter what, just keep going. If you feel like it's something that needs to be out there, go for your dream.
Yeah.
Do it.
There's enough room in the world for
and there
all
really
of
is.
our
There's
ideas.
enough. There's enough room for 1 million cooks, 1 million different people. It's all good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And try our products because they'll change your life.
That is true. That is true.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us
you.
today and for sharing just your energy and your passion for this conversation. And thank you for watching and listening and being part of the conversation today. We hope that you will go and be committed to your family and go and be committed to creating systems and processes that will help you feel better connected. But more than anything, just go and be.
Thank you.
Save 50 to 75% on all Christie statues. Now at Siegel Book.